Nice. Gina, thank you so much. Hello, it's wonderful to be here. Yeah, the 5th time. And it kind of feels like a family. I think Steffi really creates this feeling of, very much this family atmosphere. The first project I was here talking about was something very different. This music dementia philanthropic research project, which now is actually a charity getting music in all care homes in the UK. So that's something entirely different, but I'm an artist. I am here today to talk specifically about this environmental project, which is taking 800,000 years of CO2 data, atmospheric CO2 data, that I was given by a NASA engineer, and translating that into a woven timeline of our planet. And so, yes, I'm an artist, but my work often ends up going into science, technology, design, health, all of these other spaces. And I often think that from when we're very young, we're asked to choose a lane. We're an artist or we're an engineer, but often we can't really keep those multiple lanes open to us as we get older and as we develop our curiosities. And for me, I never really wanted to pick a lane. I always wanted to have whatever excited me, whatever I was curious about, be open and available. So this project, and this ended up in the last couple of years, mainly 2021, at the Nobel Prize Summit, COP26, as the largest visual statement of the conference, London Design Biennale, really on the world's leading climate stages. But how did it begin? It really began with me as a teenager going to see An Inconvenient Truth and just being so horrified. I went to see it in the cinema with my best friend at the time, and it felt like we were watching a disaster movie, but like a spoof disaster movie, something that wasn't real, something that was completely fabricated. And I couldn't believe that what I was seeing wasn't something that everyone was talking about. It was on every, news channel. I was just so struck by this being a picture of reality. So I went home and I wrote a song called From Green to Red in response to this film, the documentary. And I thought, well, I'm never going to have to record this song because everyone's going to see the film and we'll be on a completely different path. And of course, that didn't happen. So that track ended up actually becoming part of this second record kind of innovation, which was a reimagining of the album jacket, literally as a jacket that was cut by the tailor who dressed Bowie, Hendrix, Jagger, out of fabric, which was woven with my music, recorded in the space where McCartney wrote Eleanor Rigby, Hendrix wrote The Wind Cries Mary. And I mention that only because it has a nice woven component to it. So that song From Green to Red became part of that. And then somehow, this was maybe a year or two later, I ended up at Bell Labs. I was doing a project with the engineers at Bell Labs to create the world's first live 360 AR stream, which artistically I framed as the anti-stream for our streaming era. That's a whole other story, as a lot of these projects are, but very sort of serendipitously, this wonderful man, Dr. Robert Wilson, Nobel laureate Dr. Robert Wilson, had seen the work I was doing at Bell Labs. He used to work at Bell Labs as an astronomer. And he said, look, I'd love to meet, so would you want to get together and have a cup of tea? And I had found out about this incredible instrument. This is the historic horn antenna that picked up cosmic microwave radiation and proved the validity of the Big Bang theory. And this was what Bob and Arno Penzias had used to essentially, win this Nobel Prize, make this groundbreaking discovery. So I said to Bob, how about we meet in front of the horn antenna, because I'd love to ask you a few questions. So we're having a chat, and I remember it very clearly. We're talking about Queen, the band, not the lady who's now sadly no longer with us, and absent fathers. It was a very odd mixture of a conversation. And I'm just so fascinated with this instrument, and I say to him, look, you've used this to receive, but have you ever used it to transmit? And he's like, well, no. And I'm like, well, in theory, I have this album, this record called Raw Space, that's actually based on the anechoic chamber at Bell Labs as this raw environment. But wouldn't it be amazing if we sent it to space using the Holmdel horn antenna? And he's like, well, no, because the sound waves will get to a point in the Earth's atmosphere, and then they'll stop. So I thought that was the end of the conversation, and I went home, and he went home. And a month later, I get this email from him saying, Beatie, I figured it out. I can do an update on the horn antenna, and we can do this space broadcast if you still want to do it. Now, I don't know if anyone in this room would say no to that. So, of course, I said yes. We did this wonderful, whimsical experiment. He still updates me on where the music is at this point in time, halfway on its way to Proxima Centauri as it's making its way out the galaxy or whatever, that kind of stuff. And it was just such a wonderful, joyful experiment to do. And he's now a very dear friend. So how does this get onto the environmental protest piece? Well, this directly, indirectly took me to NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratories, where I was asked to give a talk about my work. And I ended up showing, there's a wonderful video of Bob and I doing the space broadcast. So I wanted to show it, to the engineers, because it turns out that originally this horn antenna was actually used to receive the first phone call bounced off a Mylar balloon in space that was sent from JPL and received at Bell Labs with this horn antenna. So they all got a kick out of finding out about that. And at the end of this talk, one of NASA's chief engineers comes up to me and he says, look, I really think you need to take a look at these atmospheric CO2 graphs. I think you'll get something out of them. And he shows me these graphs, dating back 800,000 years, depicting rising CO2 levels, human impact. And I have this same moment of what the fuck as I had as a teenager watching An Inconvenient Truth, but now we're 15 years later. And so realizing that data for so many people is so hard to absorb and to see and to feel, and particularly when you're talking about a time scale that human beings just frankly do not operate on, and we've only become more short-termist with the technological era. Everything is, now micro thinking. And so I wanted to find a way of really taking that data and turning it into something that everyone could see, everyone could feel, that is inclusive and immediate. And so what I'm going to show you, because time is not on our side, is the trailer for this project From Green to Red. So this is just the 2-minute beta version of this visualization of the data in a different dynamic way, which actually was also an interactive installation set to the song that I wrote as a teenager, From Green to Red.
Outside the people like cars are still running, when inside it's safe to deny that it's coming. The TV's turned up so the winds are just humming to the sound of the heat rising. We don't want to hear that the problem is us, so we live like we want in our own universe. 'Cause man thinks he's God in a devilish way. We're too proud to see what we won't even say. We don't wanna know, don't wanna know, don't wanna know, don't wanna know. No, we don't wanna know, don't wanna know, don't wanna know, don't wanna know. So take my hand, babe, and I'll walk you to school, where you'll learn how to live by a new set of rules. 'Cause we played all our cards, and Forgive us, my dear, can't you see? It's the truth that we don't wanna know, don't wanna know, don't wanna know, don't wanna know. No, we don't wanna know, don't wanna know, don't wanna know, don't wanna know. What happened to love? Is it out of date? Turn back, there's so much here to say. What happened to love? Is it out of date? Turn back, there's so much here to say. Turn back.
Thank you. So I'm sure you guys can figure out when humans came along and fucked it all up. It's pretty clear. So this is, as I said, the beta, the trailer. It ended up, being at COP26 as the largest visual statement of the conference at the New York Times Climate Hub. London Design Biennale as an interactive version where people could move their hands over the fabric, pull out the carbon ppm, planetary timeline date to really give people a sense of interrogating the data. But the most amazing of all, particularly with Al Gore and someone like David Attenborough being just incredible inspirations for me in terms of really understanding what's going on with the climate emergency. I got an email from the Nobel Prize organization, which I thought was a scam, saying, we'd love you to show this and talk and perform at the opening ceremony after Al Gore and David Attenborough. And really, until it was online, I thought, okay, this is just, this is someone playing a nice, a friend or my friends and family actually still think I've won a Nobel Prize, which is quite. I haven't corrected everyone on that. And so, yeah, it's been a wonderful, wonderful journey. But the big part of it was I wanted to figure out a way that it could be installed remotely without me flying, without me being there, without some big team. And so it's currently in Singapore. They were desperately trying to get me over there to install it. And I was like, no, I can literally send you 3 bullet point instructions and you'll be able to do it with these 2 things. And so also I think it's about really thinking through those environmental projects where, are there costs that actually are in direct conflict with the intention and the message. Wrapping up, because again, we're coming to the end, I also feel in as much as it's about being, a component as an artist for, say, bigger picture awareness, using art as a way of activating awareness or opening up a different part of the brain. And From Green to Red was very much an awareness piece. I also feel it's about being part of the tangible solutions. So last year, Michael Stipe from R.E.M. and I released the world's first bioplastic record with Brian Eno, which is a huge breakthrough in terms of taking PVC out of the equation for the music industry. And I am also the first artist. Oh, yes. OK, so here it is. Courtesy of Mark. I don't have a copy. I've not yet seen this, but Mark somehow has one. So I am seeing it for the first time. This is wonderful. And then on the flip side, I've also been working with Microsoft Research on this breakthrough technology, ecological technology, ways of encoding huge amounts of data, terabytes of data as inert data in glass so that it's actually written into the glass. It's not on the surface. This lasts for 10,000 years and beyond. It makes a huge dent in our global energy usage, particularly when you're thinking that 1% alone is spent on data management and storage. So this is also a DLD first. This is all of my work. There is a little light that goes with it. OK, here we go. This just got sent to DLD, and I'm also seeing it for the first time. So this is all my environmental work encoded in this glass platter that will be preserved for 10,000 years as a big breakthrough for this new data storage management shit. So thank you so much. It's been wonderful. And yeah, thank you.